KLB.
What up, world? It's your boy Charles Brown back again with another review. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification. All right, gang. I'm conflicted. I'm gonna start this out the gate. I'm conflicted. I am conflicted. I am conflicted. Black Star, No Fear of Time. Brand new release. It was released a few days ago on Luminary, which is a podcast app. Mos Def and Talib Kweli. I'm gonna stop saying Mos Def. I'm sorry. Yasin Bey and Talib Kweli. 24 years in the making. A lot of people have made their opinions about this album, and I'm about to make my opinion about this album. I am conflicted. I want to say beginning. I want to start off, and I'm gonna say this over and over throughout the course of the review. These dudes rap their ass off. Let me preface this before I say anything else. These are some of the greatest bars, some of the nicest verbiage that we are ever going to hear, right? They rapping their ass off on this album. And I want to put that out there first because people get mad sometimes about these reviews, right? But I want to put that out there first. I want to say this 100 times because I'm not going to be very politically correct with this review, right? Of this album. And these are my brothers right here. And these guys, they're doing it how you're supposed to do it, right? They're doing real hip hop. And I want to discuss real hip hop. I want to discuss this right now. I want to discuss real hip hop. Real hip hop. 24 years in the making. We've been waiting for Black Star, Talib Kweli, Yasin Bey to release this work. It's been little stuff here and there, da-da-da-da. So I want to talk about everything. But I want to talk about first how long we've been waiting for this project and how it actually was released to us, right? This issue, which is a touchy issue, of this album being released on the Luminary app, which is primarily a podcast app. And they're the first and only rap album released on the podcast app. As a matter of fact, no one knew how they were going to release it. I don't even think they knew how they were going to release it until this thing came up to put it on Luminary. Because I believe there was a statement that they didn't know they were in the final stages of where and how to release it before it was announced that it would be on Luminary. Talib Kweli has a popular podcast, right? That's already on Luminary. He has two podcasts. I think he does one with Dave Chappelle, Yasin Bey and himself. I think it's called Midnight Marauders. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. And then he has his own podcast. They both are already on there. So you're already connected. You're plugged in with the people who have funded this app, who have created it and put it up, and who, in essence, are making the money from the podcast and whatever else is going on this app. Good app, right? I've been thinking about buying it for at least a year. Through the whole pandemic, I was getting commercials up in my feed telling me, Dave got a podcast. Oh, it's not, I've been considering buying this podcast for at least a year. I even downloaded it on my phone, forgot about it. Went again another time, 6 months later, went to see if I had it, was about to subscribe, didn't. Boom, now. So here we are. This album comes out only on Luminary Podcast app. And I went and subscribed. Not only did I subscribe, I bought the year subscription. I think it was something like $35, something like that. $29, I don't remember what it was, right? All to hear this album, right? Not because I was so insanely crazed, but I was like, you know what, go ahead. It's podcasts on here. So even if the album is whatever, I'll listen to some of the podcasts. Trevor Noah's on here, Young Jay. It's a couple people on here, right? A couple people on here that have different podcasts. different shows, originals. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm gonna support. It's clearly gonna be because of the album, right? They're gonna get the credit for me because the first thing I did was went to the album. And before I even got to that point, I was already a little perturbed. When I heard that I was gonna have to download or potentially download another app and subscribe to another service, right? I'm sick of subscribing to stuff. I'm sick of downloading apps. And I think it's really, really a lot to ask us to go to another app. But apparently, Yasin Bey doesn't like Spotify. These guys want to unplug from the matrix of streaming services. I am very opinionated about this because I myself am an artist, and we are all at the mercy of these streaming services right now, right? So some artists are like, I'm going to take away the power. I'm going to control my own music, control my own destiny. Some people have reasons for that. Some people don't. Some people have the fan base to do it. Some people don't. And I believe Black Star has the fan base to put their music in one place. I don't agree with it because I think a lot of people, and I've been looking in a lot of comments, don't want to try to look everywhere and try to find the album, right? It's going to be mad people who don't know where this album is. It's going to be mad people that do not know this album is out. And what you're going to say, oh, well, their fans will know. Their fans will surely know where this album is. They'll go right to Luminary, and if they're a true fan, they'll go right to Luminary and download it. Ho, ho, ho. That's where you're wrong. You're wrong, sir. Their true fans will find them. They will seek this album out, right? And on the day that it quote unquote dropped, it was mad people that said they didn't even know this album existed. They didn't know it was out. They didn't know it existed. And they didn't even know where it was to even hear it. Right? Strike one. That's why I'm conflicted. That's my first strike. Is putting it on Luminary, putting it on a podcast. Are we that old that we now are so engulfed with podcasts? We're going to start throwing our music on the podcast apps now? Like, I get it. You're going to say, well, they want to control their destiny. They want to control the narrative of who has their hands in their music and things like that. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Right? I understand that narrative. But how many fans going to want to go do that? Right? I read a lot of comments that a lot of fans would rather buy a CD from you. They would rather spend $25 on a CD than go and add another app to their phone that only has one album on it. I personally, my personal opinion about this, and remember, I subscribe to this thing. My personal opinion was irritation. When I heard that they were not going to release this, it's kind of like when I heard De La Soul was being taken advantage of by Tommy Boy Records. And that's why their music wasn't on streaming platforms, right? Irritation. And you're going to say, well, that's what they're trying to avoid. They don't want to be, they're self-distributed. They don't want to be boxed in with these conglomerates. Okay, that's great. I understand that. But just like you said, your true fans will find the album and go to Luminary, right? Your true fans would have bought this album outright. Remember when De La did that GoFundMe? For the last album, they did a GoFundMe. They wanted something like, and I don't forgive me for the numbers are going to be wrong, right? I think they wanted something like 500,000. They're true fans. I'm going to guess, right? And I know I'm wrong because this happened about 5 years ago. It was something to the fact of like, they got like, I'm gonna just throw it at $3 million, something like that. The numbers are wrong, but what I'm saying is De La Soul's true fans, I went and donated to that. Right? And what happened when they finished that album, they got that whole album together, they didn't stick it on some one app somewhere. They put it everywhere. They put it everywhere, on every streaming service. Right? I have the review in my videos. If you scroll down, you'll see my review of that De La Soul album, right? The GoFundMe one, right? They could have pulled some. We want to do some artsy fartsy, break away from the machine and throw this on our own page, and you can only get it here, like KRS did with the album before the last couple albums. He only threw them on Bandcamp or wherever he put them, and you can only get them there. And I complained about it in one of my videos, my reviewed videos of one of his The World Is Mind album, which was a great album. I gave it an A, but I also said the scarcity of the album killed it. I said that this is you to have to go and click a page and click another page and then buy the album with your credit card and then can only hear it at that same page was very annoying. And I'm going to be 100% honest, I have not listened to that album since I bought that album. After I listened to it a couple times to review it, I didn't go back to whatever site it was on. And that's where this is going to end up. I'm not going to be on my Luminary site going to hear this album unless I'm tripping, right? Now, I'm just saying that. I'm just telling you the facts. Yes, I will play this album again at some point, but I got a feeling this whole album is going to be on YouTube. It's going to end up on all the sites at some point. I got a feeling, right? I got a feeling that's what's going to happen. Well, you're going to say, well, why do you care if it's on other sites? I don't care, but then the simple because it's not my album. But as a fan, right? As a fan, I shouldn't have to get another service, right? Not to mention all of the casual fly-by-night listeners who may have been turned on. What kind of business only focuses on the people that already know who they are? That's not a business. That's not a sound business model. You have to attract new fans. If your music is as good as you say it is, there's going to be new people that want to hear that never heard you before. That ain't going to upload the Luminary app. This is, in my opinion, it is detrimental to their legacy for this album to be widely available, in my opinion. I feel like they are taking a chance of this album being stuck on this app. Their true fans found it. A lot of them are in the comments talking about it's a classic. This is the greatest thing in the world. Yasin Bey and Talib have made a masterpiece, this and that. We're going to get to the music. So a lot of their fans have found it, and some of them have complained about having to go and find this record on some random podcast app, which I am very against. I think I understand the sentiment. You want to control your own cash flow. And let's not be freaking naive. I'm sure Luminary put a nice little this ain't gonna be. They gave them something to put it there. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. A Black Star album for 24 ain't been out for 24 years. That's gonna go. So to keep it right here on Luminary, we just gonna write this check. Because it's going to lead to a lot of subscriptions of otherwise people who would not have subscribed. So it's a nice little, decent little check. So don't get it twisted like this is some noble, this is, oh my God, we're just going to do this. We're saving hip hop. Like, I get it. But you ain't saving it for free. Right? They got a check for this album before they even put before they even uploaded it to the damn website. I'm going to go on a limb and say they got a nice little check. All right? So let's not get too crazy slapping them and stomping our hands and clapping our hands and stomping our feet. So it ain't nothing wrong with checks. Ain't nothing wrong with check. Get your check. But you kind of putting the fans at a disadvantage. Let's just start there, okay? I don't like rollouts, and I get it. Streaming services ain't paying crap. They not paying nothing. It's pennies on the penny, right? But you're going to make your money touring. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to want to come out and see Black Star because the album's right there in their phone that never, ever heard of you before or have heard of you, and they easily just woke up one day and it was in their iTunes. And it's like, oh, I didn't even know this was out. And clicked it and liked it, and now they're going to come see you. Right? Guess who else learned a lesson? KRS. Now his stuff is on all streaming services. Out of nowhere. When he went years not trying to put it there. Right? This last album, I'm an MC, RU12, is available on all streaming services. Matter of fact, KRS shot a music video, 2 music videos, and he ain't done that in years. Google it. You can pause the video, come back, and tell me if I'm lying. This is all facts. So I got a feeling this album going to end up on some streaming services, and I got a feeling we're going to see a video or 2 of this music, right? Now, with that being said, I want to discuss the music, right? Let me reiterate. These guys rapping they ass off. You understand what I tell you? This is some of the most prolific rapping that we are going to hear in a very long time, right? So let's talk about it. 9 songs, right? If you go on Luminary, they got 9 songs. Then at the bottom, they have the whole full album experience where it's not broken into songs. It's just one whole song. It's 33 minutes long. Tracks are as follows. OG, So Be It, Sweetheart, Sweet Hard, Sweet Odd. My Favorite Band. The Main Thing is to Keep the Main Thing the Main Thing. Yonders, Supreme Alchemy, Frequency with Black Thought, and No Fear of Time with Yummy Bingham. Right? That's the track listing. Madlib, the producer, did all the beats for the album, right? They say that this album was constructed in hotel rooms and in different places while they were on tour and things of that nature. And it has a gritty guerrilla style recording feel and sound. It sounds like it was done on the road, right? Now, I'm telling you, I'm so conflicted, right? Because I've never do this, but I'm conflicted. After I put the album on, I listened to the album one time, and I tried to watch everybody's review of this album. I watched According to Hip Hop. I watched Melon. I watched quite a few people. I read Pitchfork. I read different reviews. I read them because I'm so conflicted. I'm going to tell you why. And what I came out when I walked away with is everybody's conflicted. Everyone has they're either this is a masterpiece. It's all over the place. It's a masterpiece. This is a classic. This is the greatest thing I seen some people saying this album of the year. Now, those are diehard fans, surely, right? Those are diehard fans who surely have been waiting for these guys to come back out. And they are very forgiving because there's a lot of things with this that is absolutely no way could possibly be the album of the year. in any stretch of the imagination. Then people like Melon, which is calls himself the music nerd. I'm trying to remember what his page name is. I don't remember what Melon's page name is. He was talking about the quality, the sound quality, the rap quality, the awkwardness, how it wasn't conjoint and everything like that. And even he gave it a 5 out of 10. Because there are some bright spots. There are a lot of bright spots on here. Let me say this again. These guys are rapping their ass off. You'd be hard pressed to find some trash verses on here. You'd be very hard pressed. But after getting past having to download and pay for an app for a year, I didn't have to, but I did it, right? I click on it. Album cover is dope. It's weird, but it's dope. I like weird, so weird is dope, right? I click on it, and I see that there's only 9 tracks, which is whatever, right? There's only 9 tracks. I believe Kanye's series was all 7 tracks of a bunch of albums he put out with Pusha T and Tiana Taylor, his stuff, and Kid Cudi and Nas and all this stuff. And they were 7-track albums, and we accepted them. So this is 9 tracks. And I put it on. And I had already heard 2 of the songs because they put them on YouTube as a promo. Oh, you got to get this, da-da-da. But I listened to them, and I was like, this might be like a bad copy, like a demo or something, whatever, right? So I put it on. First song comes on. Boom, it has this weird intro, and then I think Talib comes in first, and then Mos Def, OG, and they're rapping, and I'm like, I'm listening, and I'm like, most vocals sound mad loud. Like it sound like Yasin Bey's vocals are over this music. I hear more vocals than music. And I'm like, this is weird. This sounds like a demo. And the mids are all out of whack, and it's mad flat, and it's lo-fi, right? I'm like, all right, I can handle lo-fi. It's like when Jay Electronica came out with the lo-fi. When he finally released the album that we've been waiting for that Jay made him rap on, that he barely rapped on, and Jay had to come in and do the other half of the rapping, and then they just threw a bunch of this and that, and then they threw it out, right? And some people loved it, some people hated it. I wasn't impressed. I thought we waited all this time. Now that was 10 years we waited for that to get that, right? This is 24 years that we waited for this album. And the mixdown's bad. I don't care what you say. Song after song after song, the mixdowns are horrible. Right? Now, you're going to say, we hip-hop. Bro, hip-hop been around for over 40 years. It's 2022. That sounds like something me and my crew could make and be like, I would still be like, we got to mix this down better. And we would make something like that, right? In our house, in our basement. I am not prepared to stand by and have guys that we've been waiting for 24 years to drop, to have distorted vocals that's too loud. It sounds like it's a cheap mic. The average kid in a bedroom can make a better sound than this. So it's hard for me to wrap my mind around album of the year. It's a masterpiece. I went, right? Fair or not, I went and I stopped it. right? I stopped it halfway through. I said, it might be my speakers. This is flat. It has no bass. Like, what is happening? I said, maybe it's me. Maybe it's my speakers. Maybe my speakers are blown. I went and put on Kendrick, right? I said, any song. I'm just going to put it. And this lush bass came out, this lush full sound, right? And I'm like, it ain't my speakers. It sound like when you are recording everything through digital. Like back in the day, right? You had all these tubes and you had all these different type of machines and you had ADATs and they would record this rich sound. You had these huge mix boards. They don't use this stuff anymore. They had processors and everything. The studio was full of crap. And they got these rich, lush sounds, which is probably why the first album sounds so good. I went literally, when I let this album go twice, right? And I said, I'm going to go back and listen to the first album. Maybe this the sound that it was on the first one, right? So I go back. I literally go back. Black Star. I go back, put the first album on. The first song, I'm like, yo, this 100 million miles apart. The mix, the beats. I listened to the first album, bro. Right? What's it? High Tech? I don't know who did these beats. These beats are Dilla all over the place, right? Whoever did it. Because I don't remember right now. It was fucking a million years ago, right? I listened to this album today. And I was like, I don't know who these two dudes is, but these two dudes can't rock with these two. And I'm going to tell you some real stuff. Yasin Bey and Talib Kweli are better writers right now. But them two kids from 24 years ago will tear their ass up in a show. You understand what I'm telling you? Them two kids was hungry. They was nice. They knew how to construct a song. They put hooks to their stuff. They chose dope beats. They was in the culture. They had this whole thing. This first album is amazing, bro. 24 years later, that thing could rock right now. Song after song, beat up. That thing went hard, bro. I was like, yo. Right? And you're gonna say, don't compare two albums. You're not supposed to compare. It's two different albums. They 24 years older. These guys are pushing 50. They're grown men now. They doing grown men rap. Yeah, they doing grown men rap. And in the course of doing grown men rap, you get better, right? I'm sure they driving better cars than they was when they was in their 20s. I'm sure their living arrangements are better than when they were in their 20s, right? I'm sure their lives are better than when they was in their 20s. Do not hit me with this excuse, right? As me being an artist, I know an excuse. And when you tell me it was recorded, to even tell me it's recorded, to even tell me it's recorded in hotel rooms, you're already making an excuse. That does not need to be in the bio. Recorded in hotel rooms in a guerrilla style, that's right there, you already lost. Because you're making an excuse for the sound of it. Drake and them record in hotel rooms. They record on tour buses. You've never seen in the bio recorded in hotel rooms and buses. No. You're saying that because it sounds like it. Right? And I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. These dudes rapping their ass off. For the people who's going to get mad in my comments, this is not about their rapping. They spitting dumb bars on here. The entire human experience is on this album. They rapping their ass off. I can't say a bad word about these dudes rapping. Right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Most, he's lazy singing. Some of the stuff he do sound like he's sleepy, but I forgive all that because he's spitting, right? That's the style he chose to come with. It is what it is. Talib, I've never heard him as sharp as he is on this album. Never. I would listen to this guy a million times more than I ever did. Because he's just spitting. It's reckless. He doesn't care what he's saying. Like, it's whatever, right? And Madlib got some beautiful arrangements on here. If you can get past the bad mixing. But I can't. I'm too old. I've been in this thing too long. I've been listening to this music so long. I deserve, right? We as fans deserve a mixdown that's worthy of the other mixdowns that come out with this music. We shouldn't have to make concessions for these overly hot vocals, right? These high ass mids that's tweaking the sound, that's making it sound like your ears are bugging out, right? A person telling me this is the album of the year, disrespecting Nas right now. Nas and Hit Boy, the albums that they're making are classics with perfect mixdowns. They're not making no excuses. It was made in the hotel lobby of the freaking Hilton. Oh my God, we ran out the door right after we did. It ain't no excuse for this. Underground is underground, but that don't mean it's cheap. That don't mean it's cheesy sounding. If these are guys that have never made a dollar with rap, that are using mix and match systems to get a sound out of nowhere, like some company flow, and that's 25 years ago, right? In 2022, you're going to expect me to pay for some podcast app and going to put this album out sounding like this? And you're going to make me feel like I got to be, yeah, this is on some gorilla style. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to hear none of that. Man, mix your stuff better than this. First of all, it sounds like y'all didn't even want to do it. So y'all got the crappiest versions of this thing and threw them all together, and then you put it all out. Like, let's just put whatever we got out. You giving 9 tracks, right? You're doing like 1 verse each on each track. I think only one of these joints have a hook. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think one of these songs, I think the main thing is to keep the main thing. I truly believe that's the only song with a hook. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. It sounds, to me, lazy. Because it sounds like he might have been here latest verse, and then he came late in later verse, and they just left it like that. And let most do a lot of riffing. Oh, I don't understand that. Just whatever he felt like doing. And Talib just races, he spits his verse and he dipped. I'm mad confused as how people are saying this is the album of the year. You're really a fan, right? And I'm gonna give you my grade. I'm giving it a C, cause it has great moments. Like let me tape it out. It has a lot of good moments on here. The just off the rap, just off the rhymes. Just off the rhymes, this thing is superb. Just off the rhymes, this thing is superb. The rhymes make it an A. But then when you get to the beats and the mix downs, right? The hot vocals, the distorted vocals, then you get to, I have to go on my Luminary app. I got to find this thing. I don't open this thing on a daily. That's like saying go, on your Apple Podcast app and try to, it's weird. And I get it. Control your money, but now we getting punished for it. Like I said, y'all probably got a nice size check to get us to come over to Luminary, because we would have never did it. So now we stuck with the bill. Like I said, people won't mind. They don't mind buying the album. People would have bought the album. But now we got this new app that we got to fumble with now and add to our phone. I'm giving this album a C, right? Because the simple fact, after I'm listening to sonically pleasing albums like Magic, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? I'm listening to these well-crafted works. Then I gotta dumb down my expectations. Somebody said in the comments that they put that thing through a master bus. They were trying to do something with it, and it wasn't even mastered. They said They said just off the EQs of this, the signals, this thing ain't even mastered. So y'all just mixed this thing down right wherever you mixed it at and threw it to the podcast. And then y'all bleeping out the curse words. Listen. I am giving this album a C. Because these dudes rap their ass off. This music wouldn't even sound good at a talent show. The way it is mixed down. Good luck trying to perform this stuff. And I want to say something to the people, right? I don't understand. I felt offended. I was watching one of the other reviews, and they're like, this is album of the year right there with Magic. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just because you're overly forgiving of this horrible sound, of these terrible sonics, because you're a fan and you want to be, don't disrespect Nas talking about this is some album of the year. There ain't an engineer in the world that would want to put their name on this. And I have another theory of why it's on Luminary. I truly believe, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and I can be way off. I think they knew if they put this out for many people to critique it, it would get a lot of people saying that it don't sound good sonically. So you shooting fish in a barrel when you can control your fans. It's only your fans going to go to see this. This is only your fans that's going to go on Luminary and hear this album. It's not going to be a non-fan. It's not going to be a hater because they're not going to pay to hate on you. So, end of the day, I think they put this thing on Luminary as a shield. So the rest of the free world can't critique this thing like it should be. This thing is in a bubble. Like he said, I'm not trapped in here with you. You trapped in here with me. Right? This thing is in its own bubble. So it's being protected. I'm telling you right now. They know that this thing is some bubble. They could have did this in a weekend. There's no real thought. It's just they wrote some rhymes and they said the rhymes. It's no hooks. It's no structure. It's just we wrote some rhymes and said them. This album is a C in my opinion. If you got a different opinion, let me know in the comments. I will read them and we can have a conversation. But if you asking me to forgive really, really weak mixdowns, I can't do that. And I'm not a guy that's real critical on mix. I'm critical, but I'm not. Right? I'll let stuff slide. But when the entire thing sounds like it's coming through like the mono of like, I don't know. It's just weird. Right? You let me know what you think. Where did I go wrong at? What did I lie about? I don't know. But I don't understand. Black Thought feature's nice, right? It feels like these guys got tired of hearing about when is the album going to drop. And they say, we got some stuff. Let's just put it together, put the final touches on it, and let's put it out there and see what happens. And then now what happened is you got this project. My name is Charles Brown. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, notification bell, clbmg.com. Essentialvarieties.org. Go over there, Black-owned business. They sell everything you need for your body, your mind, your health. All right? Clash the Rap Podcast is every Wednesday night on all of my social media channels. That's me, Dante, and Fliz. And check out the Force Multipliers album down in the playlist. All right. I'm gonna catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.